The night sky above Earth looked normal, filled with stars as always. People walked on the streets busy with their lives, not knowing that far above them something was watching. In the black silence of space, a massive alien ship drifted slowly, hidden behind the shadow of the moon. Inside, the Xeran Empire's scouts studied the small blue planet. To them, Earth looked weak, just another world filled with primitive beings. They had crushed many civilizations before, and this one, they thought, would be no different. Commander Vanar of the Xeran Empire stood in front of a glowing screen. His sharp reptilian eyes scanned images of human cities. Towers of steel, roads packed with machines, and countless humans moving everywhere. He smirked. "Busy insects," he said coldly. "They will fall quickly." The younger soldiers laughed, confident in their empire's strength. After all, the Xyrans ruled over 1,000 worlds. What chance could humans have? But deep in the command hall, one older officer remained silent. He had seen many species before, many who fought hard before falling. There was something different in the human eyes on the screen. They did not look helpless. They looked ready. The first protocol began that night. High above Earth, the Xyrans released invisible waves meant to create fear and submission. On countless planets, these waves made species kneel without resistance. But on Earth, something strange happened. Instead of running or hiding, humans became restless. Some felt the pressure, but many resisted. Soldiers reported feelings of unease, but they did not surrender. Instead, they stood taller, holding their weapons tighter. Civilians gathered together, whispering not in fear, but in anger. Commander Vanar was confused. He raised the power of the waves. Still, humans resisted. Their willpower seemed unshaken. "Impossible," Vanar growled. "No species can ignore this." Yet humans did. Across the planet, people grew suspicious of the strange feeling in the air, but instead of breaking apart, they united. Families held hands, neighbors guarded each other, and leaders told their people to stay strong. Something the Xyrans had never seen before was happening. Humans grew stronger in the face of fear. The second protocol was unleashed. Scout ships entered Earth's skies, their dark hulls cutting through clouds like blades. They appeared above, cities hovering silently. On other worlds, this show of force had made people bow. But in Earth cities, crowds gathered instead of fleeing. Phones recorded every movement. Children pointed at the sky. Soldiers scrambled into formation. Tanks rolled into the streets. Jets screamed through the air. Humanity did not kneel. It stared back. In one city, a scout ship descended close to the ground. Its metal surface gleamed under the sun, its shadow swallowing the streets below. People felt the ground shake, but instead of bowing, they shouted at it. Rocks were thrown. Bullets cracked against its armor. No other species had ever dared to respond this way. The Xyrans watched in disbelief as humans fought back without even understanding what they faced. Inside the alien command hall, silence spread. The soldiers who had laughed before now exchanged worried glances. "Commander," one whispered, "they are not afraid." Vanar's jaw tightened. His claws tapped against the metal table. "Then they will learn fear through fire," he declared. But still, something troubled him. In the human's actions, he saw no blind panic. Instead, he saw coordination. Soldiers and civilians moving together, not as prey, but as defenders. Even without knowing their enemy, they prepared to fight. Meanwhile, on Earth, whispers spread quickly. Governments detected the strange ships. Messages were sent to every military base. Leaders who once argued now spoke with urgency. Humanity had been divided for centuries. But in that moment, something shifted. The world felt the same danger, and for the first time it began to unite. Commander Vanar prepared the third protocol, direct control. This technology could bend weaker species' minds, turning them into slaves. A green wave of energy pulsed, from orbit descending toward Earth. But when it touched human minds, chaos erupted, not the kind the Xyrans expected. Instead of surrender, humans resisted with fury. Soldiers screamed but refused to drop their weapons. Civilians clutched their heads, yet they stood firm. Scientists immediately began working, analyzing the strange wave. Within hours, counter-signals were built to block the effect. The Zirans had never seen this before. Every step they took, humans adapted faster than expected. Every attempt at domination only made humans more determined. And then came the turning point. In the skies above, one scout ship tried to intimidate by firing its energy beam near a city. The ground shook, buildings trembled, and smoke rose. Yet instead of retreating, humans attacked. Fighter jets streaked across the clouds, launching missiles at the alien ship. One missile struck its shield, making it flicker. The crowd below roared. Humanity had landed its first strike. Inside the alien command ship, alarms blared. The Ziran soldiers stared in disbelief. "They fight. Even without knowing who we are?" one muttered. Commander Vaynar's smirk was gone. For the Lam, first time in years he felt something he had forgotten. Uncertainty. He leaned closer to the screen, watching humans rise against impossible odds. He whispered to himself, almost in fear, "What are these creatures?" On Earth, a soldier raised his rifle toward the sky. Families gathered in shelters. Children clung to their parents, but in every heart there burned a fire that told them they would not bow. The galaxy did not know it yet, but this was the night everything changed. For the first time, the Ziran Empire met a species that refused to break. Humanity had not yet shown its full strength, but already, the aliens felt it. Something dangerous lived on this blue planet, and it was waking up. High above Earth, the Ziran command ship floated like a silent predator. Inside, Commander Vaynar paced slowly, his claws scratching against the metal floor. The first 3 protocols had failed. Fear waves had not broken the humans. Intimidation ships had not forced surrender. Even direct mind control had been resisted. For the first time in centuries, the Ziran Empire's perfect methods were powerless. The younger Ziran officers whispered nervously, "Commander, maybe they are not advanced enough to understand our signals," one suggested. Another added, "Or maybe their brains are too primitive to be controlled." But deep down, none of them believed it. They had seen the human response, quick, clever, united. This was not ignorance. This was defiance. Vaynar raised his hand, silencing the whispers. His voice was low but sharp. "Then we will test them harder. If they will not break by fear, we will break them by fire." The order was given. The 4th protocol began. Scout fleets moved closer to Earth, their black hulls gliding silently into the atmosphere. They split across the globe, hovering over capitals, military bases, and oceans. From each ship, beams of energy swept the skies, disrupting satellites, disabling communication towers, and shaking the ground. On other planets, this attack had been enough to collapse defenses in hours. But on Earth, something different happened. Within minutes, backup systems were activated. Soldiers relayed messages through old radio channels. Civilians used hand signals, written notes, and even drums in villages to warn each other. In one city, when the internet collapsed, people formed human chains to pass information across blocks. Earth adapted instantly, like a body fighting against infection. The aliens watched in disbelief. Every weakness they exposed, humans patched within hours. Every attack, every disruption was met with solutions. Humanity refused to fall into silence. Then came the first direct clash. Over the Pacific Ocean, a Ziran warship descended, planning to destroy a naval base. Its energy cannons glowed bright, ready to erase everything below. But before it could fire, a squadron of human fighter jets rose from the clouds. Small, fragile machines compared to alien ships, yet they moved fast, weaving and diving like birds of prey. Missiles streaked through the air, slamming into the warship's shields. Sparks scattered across its hull. Inside the alien command hall, alarms blared again. "Shields dropping by 3%, shouted an officer. The number seemed small, but it was impossible. No primitive weapons had ever pierced their defenses. Yet humans had done it. Commander Vaynar's jaw tightened. "Destroy them," he ordered. The Xeran warship unleashed a wave of plasma fire, cutting through the clouds. Several jets exploded in flames, but the rest pressed on. Pilots shouted through broken radios, their voices filled with fury. "Keep firing," one yelled. "Don't let them pass." Even as their numbers fell, they refused to retreat. They fought with desperation, like warriors defending their home to the last breath. On the ground, soldiers and engineers scrambled. Their shields flickered when hit together, one scientist shouted. Instantly, new tactics were formed. Missiles were fired in volleys, aimed not at random but with precision. Strike after strike landed at the same point, and once again, the alien shield shimmered weakly. The Xyrans felt something new. Pressure. They had always been the hunters. But now, these humans, they were not prey. They were predators defending their territory. Back in orbit, Vaynar demanded answers. How do they adapt so fast? How do they resist every protocol? His officers hesitated before answering. "Commander, they do not fight like other species. They fight like they enjoy it." Enjoy it. The word chilled the command hall. Most civilizations begged for mercy when faced with the Xyran Empire, but humans seemed to rise higher the harder they were pushed. Fear was not destroying them. It was feeding them. On Earth, unity grew stronger. Nations that had once been enemies now shared intelligence. Rival armies fought side by side. Civilians supported soldiers, building defenses in streets, sharing supplies, and even making traps for alien machines. Every human, no matter how weak, became part of the resistance. In one city, an alien drone squad attempted to capture civilians, but the people fought back with whatever they had: stones, fire, old rifles. The drone was dragged down by sheer numbers, smashed apart by human hands. The footage spread across the planet within hours. People cheered. For the first time, humanity believed victory was possible. The Xyrans realized too late. Their own actions were uniting Earth. Every attack, every show of force only made the humans stronger. Commander Vaynar sat in silence, staring at the images of resistance. For centuries, the Empire had relied on fear and control, but humans were rewriting the rules. He could feel it now, a storm rising from this small blue planet. "This world," Vaynar muttered, his voice low, almost trembling. "It will not kneel. It will fight until the stars burn out." His officers exchanged uneasy glances. None dared to speak. On Earth, as night fell, families looked to the sky. They knew war had begun. Yet in their hearts burned a fire the Xyrans had never expected. Humanity was ready. Humanity was dangerous, and the galaxy had just made the mistake of waking it up. The world was no longer the same. From the deserts of Africa to the frozen fields of Siberia, from the crowded streets of New York to the quiet villages of South America, one truth spread like wildfire. Aliens had come and they wanted Earth on its knees. But instead of fear, something else was born. A spark. A fire. Humanity refused to bow. The governments of Earth held secret meetings through old channels, away from alien surveillance. Leaders who had once fought wars against each other now sat at the same table. Maps of Earth lit up with red marks where alien ships had been sighted. Generals pointed at skies, scientists scribbled equations, and engineers pulled out long-forgotten blueprints. "If they want war," one general said, "we will show them what humans do best: fight back." Across the world, armies moved. Jets were repainted, submarines prepared, tanks fueled. Satellites long thought useless were reactivated. But what made Earth different was not just weapons. It was the people. Civilians turned factories into defense lines. Farmers gave their trucks to transport soldiers. Children delivered food and messages. Every human became part of the fight. In orbit, Commander Vaynar watched with narrowed eyes. His fleet hovered above Earth like dark clouds, ready to strike. They prepare their defenses, one officer reported. Shall we crush them now? Vayner paused, then shook his head. No. Let them gather. It will make their fall more satisfying. He did not realize his arrogance was giving humanity the very time it needed. The first counterattack came in the Atlantic. A Xeran scout ship descended expecting an easy kill on a naval fleet. But as its weapons charged, the ocean erupted. Dozens of submarines launched missiles in perfect timing. The alien shield flickered, then cracked under the combined strike. Human warships opened fire, their cannons blazing in fury. For the first time, a Xeran vessel fell into the sea, exploding in flames. Cheers erupted across radios. Humanity had struck blood. News spread instantly. Across cities, crowds screamed. In triumph, soldiers lifted their weapons in salute. For the first time, the galaxy's invincible hunters had been wounded. The second battle came in the skies of Asia. Alien drones descended to destroy airbases, but swarms of human jets rose to meet them. It was chaos in the clouds, explosions, fire, and smoke filling the sky. Pilots shouted through broken radios, coordinating attacks faster than alien systems could react. One jet pilot, badly damaged, rammed his aircraft into a drone, sacrificing himself to protect his squad. His name was carried across the world. He became a symbol, the first human martyr of the alien war. Commander Vayner slammed his fist against the control table. They waste themselves for nothing, he roared. But his officers remained quiet. They had seen the humans. They had seen the fire in their eyes. These were not wasted lives. These were warriors. Meanwhile, scientists worked, day and night. In underground labs, they studied every fragment of alien technology. Engineers tore apart fallen drones, unlocking secrets hidden inside. Within days, counterweapons were built. Shields flickered less. Plasma fire was absorbed, redirected. The human brain, adaptive, creative, unyielding, was turning alien power into human strength. On the ground, the fight was brutal. Alien machines marched through cities, towering over buildings, their cannons spitting fire. Yet humans turned their streets into traps. Explosives hidden under roads tore apart alien legs. Snipers fired from rooftops, striking weak points in glowing joints. Civilians lured drones into ambushes with decoys. Humanity fought not as prey, but as hunters. And then came the strike that shook the galaxy. In the deserts of Nevada, hidden for decades, a massive hangar door opened. Dust rose as engines thundered to life. Out of the ground rose machines the world had almost forgotten. Giant bombers, experimental craft, and prototypes too dangerous to use in peacetime. Humanity unleashed its hidden war machines. These steel beasts soared into the skies, targeting the largest alien command ship hovering above the continent. The Xeran ship, confident in its superiority, opened fire. Plasma blasts lit up the desert. But the human bombers flew low, dodging through canyons, hiding behind mountains, striking in coordinated waves. They dropped payloads heavier than anything seen in modern war. Explosions ripped through the alien hull, tearing massive scars across its surface. The mighty command ship shuddered, its lights flickering, alarms blaring. Inside the Xeran fleet, panic spread. "Commander, the humans are piercing our defenses," one officer shouted. Vaynar's eyes widened in disbelief. He had underestimated them again. His protocols, his empire's pride, were crumbling against a species that should have been easy. Prey. On Earth, as the alien ship burned in the sky, people erupted in cheers. Across cities, villages, and battlefields, one cry rose louder than any other. "We will never kneel!" Humanity had awakened. Humanity was fighting back. And for the first time, the galaxy realized something terrifying. The humans were not just survivors. They were warriors born from struggle, sharpened by history, and united by the threat of extinction. Commander Vayner gripped the railing of his command bridge. His claws dug into the metal as he whispered in disbelief, "This is not a war of conquest. This is a war of survival, and they fight as if survival is all they have ever known." The third part of Earth's story had begun. The humans had shown their teeth. And now, The Xeran Empire felt something it had never known before. Fear. The night sky over Earth burned with strange fire. The wreckage of alien ships fell like meteors, crashing into oceans and deserts. On the ground, humans watched in awe. Some cheered, some cried, and some simply stood silent, realizing what they had done. For the first time in history, humanity had defeated an empire that ruled the stars. But Earth was not the only one watching. Far across the galaxy, hidden eyes turned toward the small blue planet. In the trading hubs of neutral worlds, whispers began. Merchants who once laughed at Earth now lowered their voices. Soldiers of smaller races leaned closer to hear the rumors. The Xyrans attacked the humans, one said, and the humans fought back. The words spread faster than light. On one colony world, a slave whispered to another in the dark. They say the humans destroyed a warship. The second slave trembled. No one destroys a Xyran warship. The first smiled, for the first time in years. The humans did. Back on the Xyran flagship, Commander Vanar stood like a statue. Reports flooded in, ships damaged, drones destroyed, human counterattack stronger than predicted. His officers whispered nervously, their tails twitching. "Commander, this is not normal," one admitted. "Other species run when we arrive. They kneel. But these humans, they rise higher every time we strike." Vanar's silence was heavier than thunder. He stared at Earth on the screen, its oceans and continents glowing in the sunlight. For centuries, the Xeran Empire had called itself unbreakable. But now, one world was making cracks. Meanwhile, on Earth, something miraculous was happening. Nations that had hated each other for generations were now allies. Soldiers who once faced each other across battlefields now stood shoulder to shoulder. Scientists exchanged knowledge without borders. Humanity was uniting, not by treaties, but by survival. For the first time in thousands of years, Earth was one. This unity did not go unnoticed. Spy probes from other alien species recorded the battles and sent them home. In the council chambers of distant empires, leaders argued fiercely. Some wanted to ignore Earth, calling it a passing storm. Others demanded immediate caution. One counselor slammed his fist against the table. "If humans can resist the Xyrans, what will they do to us if we ever face them?" Silence filled the chamber. No one answered. On a mining world, alien workers gathered around a holoscreen showing human missiles destroying Xyran ships. One worker muttered, "They are not supposed to do that. They are not advanced enough." Another replied, voice shaking, "Maybe they don't need advancement. Maybe they only need will." Back on Earth, the streets filled with flags. Songs of unity echoed through radios. Children painted pictures of alien ships falling. Humanity was not afraid anymore. They were proud, but in the Xyran command ship, fear spread like poison. Reports from across the Empire showed rising rebellion. Species once enslaved by the Xyrans now whispered of human strength. Some began to resist, small sparks of rebellion igniting in hidden corners. The humans had given them hope. A dangerous gift the Xyrans had never wanted the galaxy to taste. Commander Vanar roared in fury, his voice shaking the hall. "We are the Empire. We are the masters of the galaxy. These humans are nothing." But even as he spoke, doubt filled his eyes. The memory of human jets, human soldiers, and human missiles burned in his mind. He could not deny it anymore. They were dangerous. One of his oldest officers leaned closer, speaking in a low voice. "Commander, maybe we should not have come here. Maybe this was a mistake." Vanar's claws dug into the metal railing, sparks flying. A mistake. The word echoed like a curse. For centuries, no one had dared call the Xeran Empire's actions a mistake. Yet here they stood, bleeding, uncertain, and afraid, all because of humans. And still, Earth was not finished. Hidden deep in the mountains, scientists unveiled something new. They had cracked part of the alien technology taken from fallen drones. They built their own energy shields, crude but functional. Human soldiers marched forward protected by alien power turned against its makers. Humanity was no longer fighting with only its own strength. It was evolving, adapting, and stealing the enemy's weapons to use as its own. The galaxy watched in silence. The turning point had come. The hunters were becoming the hunted, on a poor, distant world. An alien child asked his father, "Are the humans real?" The father looked at the stars, voice trembling. "Yes, child, they are real. And they are very, very dangerous." The galaxy had grown quiet. From the darkest corners of forgotten colonies to the golden halls of mighty empires, every race waited for news. All eyes turned toward one planet, Earth. A planet once ignored, dismissed as primitive, now stood at the center of fear and wonder. Above the blue world, the Xeran fleet gathered its might. Dozens of massive warships hung in the sky, their cannons glowing like suns. The Empire would not accept defeat. They would unleash their full strength and burn Earth into ashes. Commander Vaynar stood on his bridge, his cold gaze fixed on the planet below. "We end this now," he growled. But Earth was ready. In hidden bunkers, generals gave their final orders. Across continents, armies prepared for the ultimate fight. Submarines waited in the oceans. Jets lined up on runways. Satellites turned their lenses skyward. Every weapon humanity had ever built was aimed at the heavens. Civilians filled shelters, holding their families close, but their eyes still burned with pride. They knew this battle would decide their future, not just for Earth, but for humanity's place among the stars. The attack began. Alien cruisers unleashed their firepower, plasma beams raining down like burning comets. Cities shook, oceans boiled, and mountains cracked. But Earth struck back. Nuclear warheads launched in waves, blazing across the sky. Missiles ripped into shields, cannons roared, and jets danced through fire to deliver their payloads. In space, the first human-built defense satellites fired energy beams, crude but deadly. The battle raged like a storm of gods. Ships exploded, flames spread across orbit, and the night sky lit up brighter than day. Humanity fought with fury, with desperation, with the strength of a species that had survived everything history had thrown at it. Then came the moment that changed everything. The Xeran flagship, the pride of the Empire, larger than a city, feared across 1,000 worlds, moved into position above Earth. Its cannons glowed, preparing a single blast that could erase an entire continent. Silence fell across command centers and battlefields. Humanity held its breath. But deep inside Earth's hidden facilities, scientists had been working on something new. Something born from alien wreckage, combined with human genius. A weapon of untested power. As the flagship charged, Earth unleashed it. From the mountains, a colossal beam of pure energy shot into the sky, striking the flagship with unstoppable force. The alien shields shattered like glass. The ship trembled, its hull cracking, fire bursting from its sides. The galaxy's most feared weapon was dying. On the Xeran bridge, alarm screamed. Officers shouted in panic. Commander Vaynar's eyes widened as he realized the truth. His empire's pride, his unbreakable fleet, was falling, brought down by humans. The flagship groaned like a dying beast, then split apart in a colossal explosion that lit the entire planet's sky. Earth shook from the blast. People stared upward, their eyes filled with tears. The invincible had been defeated. Humanity had destroyed the strongest warship in the galaxy. Across the stars, the news spread instantly. On enslaved worlds, people cheered and wept. On rival empires, leaders sat in silence, fear etched into their faces. The whispers grew louder. The humans are real. The humans are dangerous. And for the Xeran Empire, the truth was undeniable. Their fleets were broken, their reputation shattered. Rebellions rose across their colonies. Species who had once been silent slaves now lifted weapons, inspired by Earth's defiance. The empire that once ruled unchallenged was collapsing, and all because of one planet. Commander Vaynar, broken and defeated, stared at the burning remains of his flagship from his escape pod. His claws trembled as he whispered, "We thought, them insects, but they are predators, and now, they will hunt us." On Earth, the celebration began. People poured into the streets, waving flags, singing, crying. For the first time, humanity realized its true strength. They had not only defended their home, they had earned a place in the galaxy. But amidst the joy, leaders gathered in quiet rooms. They knew what this meant. The galaxy now feared them. The galaxy now watched them. Humanity was no longer invisible. They were a rising power, and every empire would treat them carefully. In one such meeting, a general stood before his peers. His voice was calm but heavy with meaning. Today the aliens learned the truth. We are not prey, we are not weak, we are human, and that alone makes us dangerous. Far away on alien worlds, children ask their parents about humans. And parents for the first time did not laugh. They spoke in hushed tones, warning of a species born on a death world, forged in endless conflict, and united by survival. A species that would never kneel. The story was no longer about Earth alone. It was about the galaxy's future, and every race knew it. Because the day had come, the day aliens realized humans were real and really dangerous.